dealing with a little bit of an upbringing today, so I apologize for the break in programming. What's up, friends? Michelle Taylor Willis on According to Michelle on MixWX106Radio.com. I have a feeling, I get this feeling sometimes that the shows are going to be great. Today, I have a feeling that the show is going to be out of equity control. Let me tell you why I feel that way. What's up, Donovan? I feel that way because I think we are really two outstanding guests. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, I think we're going to be able to parlay that into nothing but fun. If you're watching me on Instagram, you're following me on Michelle Taylor, we're going to start Instagram. You're seeing interesting things happening in the studio right now, honestly. Yeah. If you're not following me, I'm sorry for your bad luck. We're doing a lot of fun. Michelle Taylor was on Instagram. It's been a great week. Let me just tell you something. The new magazine dropped. The Southland Lifestyle Magazine. Everybody knows the Southland Lifestyle Magazine is, don't they?
Yes.
What is Southland Lifestyle Magazine?
It's the number one magazine in all of Southport.
It's the number one magazine in the world, friends. You screwed the pooch on that one, DC. Really. In the world, as voted by lots of people. We haven't voted, don't worry about who they are. You have to trust them. Right? Now, by Southland Lifestyle Magazine, if you don't know by now, is literally the magazine, the media outlet that shows all of the wonderful, the great, the incredible people, places, things, dogs, cats, buildings, everything in South Fulton County. And if you're not in Atlanta, Georgia, you don't know what South Fulton County is, you're going to know soon. Because everybody knows that Soho in New York is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty soon, people are going to be like, SoSu in Atlanta. You're welcome. Because what does SoSu stand for?
South Fulton?
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. What did we get? Let's a new car.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, speaking of which, why do I have sound effects? I do this every week as you can see. Trying to make sure that, I need the clap. The clap noise, not the clap, the other disease that you started on. I need the bomb sound, the dynamite. I need the ding, 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 ding. I can't keep doing my own shit. I just gotta get on a real show, guys. I'm making my own sound effects. I'm doing my own. I gotta write my own jokes.
Right.
This is.
Right.
I can't live like a normal.
Oh, yeah. It's fine.
Working well down. I hear you. So, that's it, my EDT thing. The Southland Lifestyle Magazine is the epitome of all the great things in South Fulton County, right? And we liked it so much, we knew that it had so much to offer that we gave it its own name, SoSu. We have the Taste of SoSu that happens the first and third Tuesday of every week, of every month, over the summer, all the way to October. We got people calling it SoSu. I got the mayor saying SoSu. We got SoSu merchandise. We got all kinds of things because this area needed a rebranding. It deserves a rebranding. It deserves a resurgence. And people need to see that what the media would show you on TV about South Fulton County is not what it is. It's not what it is. It's not carjackings every day, friends. Chief Deputy, you know that, right? It's so much more. And it's awesome. And it's continuing to grow. We got the Anthropolis developments going up. If you're not in Atlanta, you got to look up Anthropolis. Atlanta is where it's at. But SoSu is where it is. I like how you search it. I use like search image. You can search for you. Okay. This is where we, friends, this is where it all goes wrong. All right? We'll make it start. Chicken Jones and the flight started coming. It's not right. It's not how we do business here. It's not how we do business. Okay, so I said that the latest edition, the latest issue of Southland Lifestyle Magazine is up. And if you're not following me on Instagram, Michelle Taylor Willis, or Facebook, you're not liking it, you need to, so you can see this great new cover. Somebody told me yesterday they thought this was cover was insane. I was very proud. But I feel like it is. I own it. So, we got Joe Handy and the Georgia Aquarium on. Y'all know a black dude runs the aquarium? Literally. Yeah, you just like that. You just hate somebody. Oh, right. All right. See, this is how so much. Okay, friends. Right. It's not a thing. It's amazing. This is great. This is good news. I'm really excited about it because I actually wrote the piece on this family. It's the first time that I've written for the magazine, so I'm really excited about it. It's a good piece, and I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start writing. When we get heavy hitters in the magazine, I want to start. Listen, I'm a great writer. I'm a much better writer than I am a talker. You can believe that. Girl, cut the community. So I'm excited about that. We got great advertising. We got energy. We got things happening. August is going to be outstanding. Let me tell you what else is really good. That song we just heard, Heartbeat, is so much more interesting to me now. You know why? Because you are talking to the person who is now being represented by the same person who represented Heartbeat, Luke Perry, Perry, Perry Hilton, sorry, Perry. I know you are. This is dope. You didn't want that laughing, and they did. It worked. Nicole Murphy, all kinds of people. And so I'm excited to say I'm now being represented by Barry Florence. BBC Management, absolutely, yeah. So I said I was going to, yeah, I know you were, who are you representing that?
No, I know the same barbershop as Obama.
Is the same person man still picking up clients? So the thing is, I can go back and ding, 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 ding. That's when we do that. So I'm excited about that. But let me tell you what I'm even more excited about. What's up, music and money lady like Shaw? Thanks for tuning in. I'm excited because we got an officer of the taxpaying law
Right here.
in the building. Let me tell you who represents us. She's gorgeous. She's trying to say, look, we're not making love connections on here. That's not what we're doing.
Morning ground. You got it.
Love connections in here? How am I getting love connections? Yeah, I know we're not making them in here. But let me tell you something. She doesn't.
I got on my waistband at 250.
I got that. He said the shoot the shot is he said he got on his waistband. He is dancing. See, you say every time I think I look at her, I think of that song. Like a cop. Guys, we got somebody in here, seriously. I mean, we got Chief Deputy Melanie Maddox in the town. This is why she's doing it. See, you change lives in here, friends. She is killing the game. Literally, she's beautiful. She's smart. She's super smart. Oh, wow. I believe that. But more friends. You know, a couple weeks back, we had Kevin James and the president of Brown. Did you listen to that? Yeah, we raised some money, so we raised a little bit of money for him. Well, we didn't get, I mean, it was purple. We went to like, we purple-ish, no, it's purple. Really just keep their hands. We need some. But yeah, that's her alma mater, so we got her representing a lot. But I mean, she is the second black female in her position in DeKalb County. But I mean, just think about it. I mean, she's in a white male-dominated industry, and she's playing these games. And here's the thing about it: she's intentional, surely. But this stuff, like the waters, I'm talking to a friend of mine, Tawana, I'm talking to her on the radio, and the waters are literally kind of petting to you, which is amazing. You know what I mean? And you're like literally kind of walking in to where you exactly what you need to do, which is insane. Walking in this thing. As you should. Not to mention, friends, she is a distinguished lady of Alpha sorority incorporated. So there is that. Because, you know, we got Deltas in here. I mean, the past few weeks, have you seen any Deltas trying to come in here and run my show? I bet you did. Did you leave the lead? You say you're not going to see again? I don't want to know. I don't want to know so much. So we're going to dive deep and talk to Chief Deputy here in a minute. Chief, Melanie Maddox. Let me tell you who else she does. funny man. And by funny man, I mean like he doesn't look funny. Oh, he does. But that's not why I call him funny man. He is literally a comedian. Let me turn this camera on so you guys can see the beauty of this. Is that a word? I just look at Michelle like that. There, she's so cute. Look at what she's filming. And here, it's really not. I don't need sound effects. Boom, there he is. There he is, friends, right there. If you're following me on Michelle Taylor Willis on Instagram, you can see John Mason, comedian John Mason.
John in the house.
John, don't you think I need to do a sound effect? I mean, who got their own stuff? I mean, I'm still, my hands are wrong, and I'm always clapping on my own. Okay, all right. I get that. I knew, you see, I called it. I knew where he was going. I was like, no, this is cut. We're cutting this right now. I don't know why. I think it's according to the show. Why is he hating on me on my own show? That means I have no real power in here. You hate on me on my own show. You realize it's according to the show. There's no picture on the website yet. Let's talk about that because you got jokes. Let's talk about, yeah.
Yeah, I got a picture.
Okay, see, this is going south, literally. Way particular. You got Melanie, she making fun of you, posting bad stuff about you on Facebook. She's taking pictures with memes. She's making memes. But yeah, seriously, guys, we got comedian John Mason in here. Are you going to tell us jokes while you're in here?
No.
Like when you go on the radio, do you like try to take over? Do you put all your material in at once? You're like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do now? But yeah, John, you are from Atlanta? Chicago. Oh, which makes sense because you guys should open another house back home, right? But yeah, so it's cool about John because we talk a lot about entrepreneurs here and business and following the passion. But John's family owns Perfect Hospice, which is one of only two black-owned hospices in the state of Georgia. Literally. So he works in his family-owned business, which is great. They just opened, like I mentioned earlier, another location in Chicago. But his passion is comedy, right? I mean, he has always felt like he needed or wanted to entertain, and I guess people started laughing at him. We should say mute your phone when you're doing your entertainment. He's great at diverting. He's great at diverting. But he's got both sides still, right? I mean, so he realized what his passion was early, and he jumped into it and dove into it. Just recently, just in 2015, I believe, when he had a picture of him. And he's been doing stage plays and being really in entertainment for a very long time. So now he's just really decided to put it all on the line and kind of step out there and make it happen, right? I mean, but if you don't, who will? Right? Ain't nobody else can do it. We say all the time, too, that, our purposes are not just for us. Our purposes are for other people. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I ask the question a lot, who's not fulfilling their purpose because you're not fulfilling your purpose, right? There are a lot of people waiting on you, and clearly you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not even trying. I mean, not in a bad way, but I mean, so many things are happening organically for you, and you're putting exactly, and that's the whole thing. That's really the whole thing. So speaking of passion, I know you got, how much time? I got some little bit of time, you see? So, I mean, I can tell you a story, I can tell you Sister Girl, I can tell you Chief Deputy, what are you gonna call it? No, I'm not gonna call you. Look, I'm feeling, you see how his chair literally keeps getting closer.
You gotta get shot.
Closer.
Let's go get shot. He's gonna be in the hospital. Yeah, you done got me, y'all.
Yeah, right? Is that a gun in your pocket or is that a gun in your pocket? Hands up, don't shoot, man. Don't shoot. There it is. Guys, if you're following me on Michelle Taylor Willis, you can see, literally, right there. You can see that gun saying, like, it wasn't me. Oh, my God. It was not me. So, okay. How did you get it? Did you know? Did you know that cops and robbers were your cousins and family and friends and all of that? I mean, was that 21.
Mm.
So, okay, literally, so somebody dared you and said, do you, I mean, was it like they didn't think you, or even if they didn't think you that serious, they didn't,
I think he thought I didn't actually do it. Like I was particular. I've always been very good.
well, young.
So, but it was just one of the things. I think he was like, "Oh, you're not gonna do this." But then when I, like I said, I got in there, so I was when I was always into fitness, and people was doing everything. So this a Maddox was super good academically and physically. And like I said, I got into it. Just I loved it. So this is not a bad fit. I really wanted to be in the training. There was a flight attendant on my team, and I just loved my stuff and never left. So I'm still in the training on a different level.
Right, a different
Right,
side of the wall, right?
Right. But at the same time, I'm still interacting with the community with people that I wanted to be. You know, so I wanted to make
Right.
Mm.
so I'm giving the
And you have a great spirit. I mean, you really do. She lives energy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're beautiful inside and out. What makes that, you know, you'll be able to connect with people regardless. It doesn't matter what silo or what silo you're in, you know. So talk to me about the academy. You go, I mean, what is that like the first day?
Oh,
Is it like the movie Police Academy? You know those movies? You never, I mean, the Police Academy was off the chain. I was like, man, I enjoy the Police Academy. But they can sit around and do stupid crap like this all day.
Yeah, we do nothing but joke. Police officers, we joke on each other like it's a never ending thing with law enforcement. We say jokes on each other every day. But that's what makes it so fun because we have to learn how to have fun as we do it because it's such a serious career.
Right.
And we have to learn how to also separate ourselves from it. Because a lot of times the people on the calls we come on, you can take those calls in with us.
Absolutely.
And they say, okay, this is my job. But for me, it's not just a job for me, it's a career for me.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, but the academy is great.
So what was it like the first day? You go, I mean, like you put on a uniform first day, or you wearing like blue shorts?
No, the first day is kind of like you wearing your recruit uniform, and then you have these instructors there, and they kind of break you down. It's paramilitary type. But with the stuff that my dad was retired, first officer in the Navy, so.
So you, oh my God.
I'm not a military
No,
background,
but you, okay.
but I had that in children and also, children,
Mm.
but I have an old spirit,
Right.
but at the same time, my dad was from the Navy, so he was
Did you want to go?
he faster than what he actually wasn't because I would fight. It was nothing for me to fight. My brothers, I mean, I have an older brother and a younger brother,
Right.
and I would have been what I said. So, and I would fight.
So it's a disagreement off the older brother and you and the younger brother. Now, are any of them in law enforcement? They're tough guys. You real. Oh my God. You real.
My family knows I don't play. Let me tell you that. They know I don't play. And when I walk in, it's either one sister or my dad. It's always every in between the two. You have to do it.
Exactly right.
And do you don't, like I said, when I first went in, you know, you volunteer, they were going to get me.
Right.
And it's respect.
So what was it like growing up? You have two brothers, and then you in the middle, and your dad is a law.
My dad was on the high school, so my mother was a mechanic.
Okay.
But I was fight. I mean, in the house with my younger brother, my older brother, not necessarily them, but then, you know, outside, I was having to defend myself. Because again, I was just very good. You know, so you having to defend yourself against, just drugs. You know, they
Those are always kind of mean.
they're horrible
Why are
sometimes.
girls so mean?
They towards one another, you know, what's wrong with your hair? Why don't you have these pants on? You know, and I lived in Detroit for a couple of years. I know that you probably some of those in Detroit.
We have 14,000 people listening.
And I'm so sorry, but I'm so sorry. But I hated Detroit with a passion. I lived off of 7 Mile, and I swore up and down that once I left that place, I was never going back home. It was 13 and I came back home.
So how did you get, like, so you were born in Houston,
I
right?
was born in Birmingham, Alabama. I don't know.
That's what I thought. Raised babies. We gotta get, listen, Terrence, Grady Baby, if you're listening, you need to get, Virginia, you need to get Melody a shirt. Did you know Terrence that owns Grady Baby?
No.
He has a whole line of like Atlanta merchandise, Weeple, Retire, Go Home. Atlanta was don't come here. So you're an original Grady family ends up going to Detroit.
Yeah. My mother lives there. You don't know,
Right.
my friend lives in Mexico, so, but I never liked it. Never.
It's a different kind of place, right?
It,
I've never been there, but I've heard that it's, what's that name?
Uh-huh.
John? Well, John's gonna let me know. When we moved to New Mexico, probably John. It was like somebody just gave him bad food. And he mentioned what's so crazy about Detroit? Is it just the mentality?
I think it's, that you have, how many thousands before this?
I was just, I know.
I mean, I don't know,
Well, there could be, I mean, really, we got 70,000 people listening now, according to Michelle and Nick Double at 106radio.com, so it's
Right
certainly
now.
possible. Right now.
I love my family, don't get me wrong, I love my family up there, and I literally go to Detroit, my nephew's at, Oakland University,
Okay.
so I play over there. I actually go visit the weekend,
Wow.
and this is Georgia too, so I'm exploring there.
Right.
I'm still exploring there, where there's everything.
And who will probably pass me to
And I
ask.
feel arms when I walk.
She's got a whole time with Sunday. Bubble crap wrapped in church. Yeah, you gotta survive over there.
Yeah.
So you end up going to the academy,
Right.
and then you come out. So what did you think? Did you think that you were gonna? Were you plan for leadership? Did you plan?
You know what? No, I really didn't. I always wanted to, when I started running, my goal was to really create power. And to be honest with you, and I like to always say my testimony because I didn't even know how to start a college education. I didn't even know the process. How do you even
Can
start?
you help me through this? Because he's still struggling.
You still
now.
some?
I'm still kind of doing
Oh,
it.
yeah, okay. He's a time. He's still learning. He's still learning.
They don't let me graduate.
But Wonder Brown, had always a brown hair.
You can come back. Look, Dr. James said you can come back anytime.
Absolutely,
He
absolutely.
just needs $500,000.
Yeah, I owe that money.
Anyway, go ahead.
You know, we do the same thing. That's another thing you can't get wrong here. You have to be in while you can't play like this. Yeah, we would get it. But, no, I really wanted to go to college, and I always wanted to go to North Carolina. And, I can remember being a little girl going to North Carolina College Parade and looking and saying, oh, I can't wait until I go to college. I want to go to North Carolina. I want to be North Carolina. And I went because Bubba Young did it in and I ended up going to North Carolina becoming a Bubba.
Oh, you have to have him. Of course you do. John has had a good speech for that.
So,
He's like, yeah, I don't know what that is. Please show me.
He's right home real quick. So I ended up going to North Carolina College and even from there I started working at City Tech. City Tech that we brought from I graduated in 95. I started working in part-time care and which is not the work, it's next to the work. So what it started was where we started a detention center because overseeing all the operations of
But the whole thing, I mean, because no, seriously, the whole thing is, I mean, you're around basically guys.
yeah.
I mean, and so what is, I can't even imagine what that would be like.
It's actually great. It's all how you carry yourself as a woman. So when I walk in with respect. I want to demand my respect and I get respect. But I also make sure that, I respect the guys as well. And we have that understanding. The good thing about it in my career is when you have to fight, that comes with respect. So, sexual violence, retaliation.
Oh, right.
And that comes with living well down there too.
Right.
So it's up to you whether you can handle it or not.
Right.
And you can't be shy away from it as a female. You just have to be able to handle it. And once they see that you can handle it, it's like, okay, you out there somewhere just like me.
Say it like that again. The picture that, those eyebrows went like.
So this is what you walk in, you walk with respect and you walk with dignity. And that's what I did. It went from there. I went back to school. I worked in Running Life. I left the Clark County Sheriff's Office and started working for the Clark County Police Department. And while working Morning Life as a single mom, I accepted myself in graduate school and received a master's in Central Michigan University. And I went to course, then left from there. And in 2005, they're free Kentucky.
You got some private management school, right?
Absolutely, I can do burgers and whole nine yards. I'm hiring and teaching. So I do it all. I come with a wealth of knowledge. So it's not, I'm not just a, thank you. I'm not that, I'm just a pretty girl.
You're not just a beautiful face, though. He's like, I know. Pretty soon you'll start with playing Barry White in the background. But you're not, it's not. She's not, she's not, you're not her buddy. I mean, that's a second one. Yeah, he changed his whole fashion. Like, big bone, big bone, bone, bone size. Hey, so none of us are doing it. You got all of us covered. You like hands across America. Okay, I'm sorry. Look, speaking of hands across America, we all join hands and we have to pay bills. I mean, it's a collaborative effort, right? I have a lot of people who pay my bills, friends. And you know what? We're going to hear from them. Right now, as we take this quick break, we're going to come back, talk some more to the chief, let John tell us a couple of jokes. We'll be able to see if he's really funny. Guys, you're listening to a recording of the show on mixed106radio.com. Hang tight. We'll be right back, friends. Big bone guy? Who does big bone? You can talk. Or all the kids. Make sure they don't hear that. What's up? Who we got? What's up? Good looking out, Dan. I appreciate you. Look, there's my Alexia right there. Gosh, guys, hey, how's it going? What's up, Anita? Oh, guys, I need to see where we're going. I got you. Oh, what's up? I got it. Fix it. Thank you. What's up, Jacksonville? We got a lot of Jacksonville in the house. Hey, Cindy. Tell Mayor I said hey. Guys, look what we got. John, Chief, DC. Guys, my cousin is here watching. That's who. Isn't she pretty? Look at her. Hey. Say hi. Isn't she cute? Don't we look just alike? I have my friend in here who I've known since 8th grade. There she is. Stop looking mean. Hi, friends. We got magic. Oh, somebody just gave you a heart. Oh, that is DC. Oh my gosh, she's right here. Goodness gracious. Boy, people hide behind cameras, so you can't believe everything you see on social media. Guys, we are behind the scenes. Guys, this is so cool. We have people that put this show on and they sit and watch for the whole 2 hours. They just sit and watch, they sit and listen, and they just put it on in their office. Somebody asked me to stop cursing until it was on in their office. And I was like, listen, turn the volume down. I mean, really? Do something. You know, you want me to change me, fix you. That's what's wrong with America today. You want me to change for you. I'm not changing for you, friends. You change for me. You got it backwards, right, Chief? That's right. I'm going to wear a holster. I mean, a gun on my holster. Nidra the Money Lady Whiteshaw says, Michelle, you're interviewing DeKalb County's royalty. That's royalty. Hashtag Melanie Maddox. Look at that. Let me let you see your girl. There she is.
Hey, that's a Nedra.
Oh, Nedra. It's N-E-D-R-A.
Oh, that's Nedra. Hey, Nedra. That's my Nedra, yeah.
You know her. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we've got quite a few people chiming in. So,
Get to my page.
oh, yeah. Excellent. Yeah, totally go on Instagram or on Facebook. So, you went really long on mean, you know, can you, if we're gonna do that, can you let me know so I can plan for it?
And they can't connect.
Hey, I'm talking about this.
Not like you, I can imagine. I have a little bit more on than you do. Plus, I have a slip on underneath. You know what I mean? I got some against my body.
Because I already kind of see
I know.
like, yeah.
And that's miserable.
You know, right now.
Are you? Okay.
It's so funny when he gets like these bright ideas. He's like, he whispers. He's like, Michelle. Really?
She just texted me.
We absolutely could. Guys, we're behind the scenes. We're on a break right now. Dr. Oh yeah, Dr. Trey Farm D. She has some really good tips. She follows me. Hey, love the show. Thank you, Yeezy92. I am hoping I said that right. Thank you. I'm glad you love the show. Melanie, you're doing wonderful. These are comments coming in. You are like royalty, seriously. You know that though. You really are. I mean, look, did you see how he's turned his chair? Pretty soon he's gonna be drinking from your water. If I were you, I'd move over
Why
here.
you over here?
I'm just trying
Why you
to.
over here?
I'm trying to
You trying
protect.
to protect her? She protected.
I'm
She's
trying to
covered.
protect Chi.
She's covered.
Because you know, I know
She's covered. She good.
you know the comedians are. They everything's a joke until it's not. Everything's funny until it's no longer.
Yeah. She's protected.
They know.
You're gonna go over and check out the new spot. I gotta clean it and I gotta when you see it Monday, it's gonna be totally different.
You're supposed to call me the other day to come. Guys, we're gonna break. Hang tight with us. We got some great music playing. Talking about our next. Yeah. So for some reason, friends, let me give you a tip. If you have a partner in crime, no pun intended because I'm sitting across from you, but you should give them a heads up. Like if you're gonna change course, if you're gonna do things a little different, you should let them know, right? You don't just bring it on, because then they have to make adjustments. Now, lucky for me, I'm great at what I do. So when my partner in crime decides to change the format of the show, I just kind of roll with it. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna ask respectfully that not happen again. Okay?
You
Because
tell
it's according to the
the
show.
don't go to HBC. See how they just sprinkle the hate out there. That's just sprinkle the hate. All
Let
out.
me show you DC, and then
I'm
you'll
sick of
understand
this,
why it's
man.
not.
I'm sick of this. That's how black families be talking. I'm tired of this here. Well, I mean, I'm tired of this now. I get my check, I'ma move. Ah! Get my check, I'm out of here. You wait till the first get around here, Shell. You gonna miss my check, I swear.
Okay, I'm missing you right now. Blink. All right, and we're back. And we're back. I'm sorry you had to witness that.
You know how that black family.
It's a lot. Like,
They
all
get
the
the
things.
bus.
Apologize. Having overtime.
All right. Oh, let me see up here. Where's Zan? Oh, it's good. Do that again. And we're
Where's
nice
Dan's
long here.
date night?
So let me ask you. Desi's on the line.
Hey, Desi. We love you, girl.
Desi one.
I swear to God.
Oh gosh, let me tell y'all the funniest story ever that happened.
Right.
Last week, we had one of my favorite chefs drop in and bring us some food.
She brought us.
So I'm surprised. I didn't say anything to DC really about it. I just kind of, was, kind of alluded we might have some food, whatever. Man, when I said
Wait a minute.
Desi is at the door, I am not friends. If I'm lying, you see he's laughing already because I'm lying. I know y'all think I exaggerate a lot, but I speak the truth, only the truth. The
Yeah,
truth
you wrong for that one, though, shit.
and nothing but the truth. When I said, oh, Desi's outside, let me move this so I don't break my neck. I'm gonna leave it like it was. He's right there, two guests right here. Scoot the chair up, scoot the chair back. Because I want y'all to understand what happened. Desi's at the door, she's got... Tell me I'm lying. He squeezes.
Yeah, you're wrong. You're wrong. Hey, man. Hey, Yeah, you wrong.
He did.
That ain't. No,
He did, friends.
You can't co-sign
Tell
on
me,
that ain't.
tell me I'm lying. I've never seen DC move so fast.
Hey man, that lady be throwing down. You gotta have a fool.
I've
Y'all
never
get one of
seen
them cars.
DC move so fast. I'm like, well, damn, where is he?
Young chick, I'm saying she a young chick, but she can cook. And when you look
That's-
at her,
that's
she
what you
like
did
real
too.
slim and
That's,
everything.
yeah, she's super small. Shout out to
Super
Debbie
slim.
Date
And you
Night.
sit here like, I know she can't cook. Look how slim she is. That girl
Fair
goes
is
straight
good.
down, man. She got made me start looking at slim girls again. Y'all stop it. Y'all stop it. Y'all stop it. I'm telling Chief, you wrong.
That's why you was looking at you like
Oh, you see what John got you.
Yeah, man. John.
2 Johns in a row. Let me tell you something. We had Dr. Lippman on here last week, white dude.
Yeah.
He killed DC. Didn't he? Boy, he was in DC's ass like a.
Yeah, he was hard. And then he asking me questions. My Lippman don't call me no damn. Don't you call me no damn more now.
I was like, dang. I said, Dr. Lippman.
Yeah, he was at me.
He's like, well, he said if I come on your show, I need to relax and have a good time and just kind of go in. I was like, hey, friend.
Yeah, she'll let him at me too now. No, she wrong for that.
Wrong.
Man, let me tell you something. This week, John's got you.
John got. I see what's going
I'm
on.
chilling.
We gonna make sure we don't die in y'all hospital. We ain't going over there to die.
Come on, hit the road.
Guys, look at my friend Tamika.
I'm on
Say hi
the
to
road.
Tamika. And my cousin, Lavekia from Minnesota. Aren't they just beautiful?
You from
What's up,
Minnesota, was
AJ?
that?
Hey, AJ, what's up, motivational quotes? Say something motivational for the motivational quote person.
Do what?
We have a motivational quote person. Say something motivational.
I don't know.
Don't sleep hard in hospitals. We pull everything.
Don't feel hard enough.
Don't sleep hard. We call your name 3 times. You don't answer, we pull the blood.
Hey, Tamika, trying not. Tamika's so like, very proud. She's trying not to laugh out loud. So her, you can see her shoulders moving. See, look, there they are. Look.
My granddaddy was in the hospital. They called him. He didn't say nothing. They stopped. He jumping up, tap dancing. He said, I'm alive, y'all. I'm alive. Gonna get you out of there, man.
Oh, somebody's trying to sing, friends. Oh, you know he's serenading you.
Yeah. He's trying
It's
to get
this
it all.
chair.
What's wrong with you, man?
Facebook Live. Am I kidding? His chair started. He was at the end.
You on the edge.
Right
You want to
here.
be outside. That was what?
Yeah.
You really want to be outside.
He is right
You
here.
want to be outside.
Now he moved to the D
I'm moving to where
on the radio.
I'm moving to where the
Now he's on
microphone
the
is.
6. Now look how
I'm moving
guys,
to
I
the
want y'all to see. Look how close he is right here. There's not even, there might be 6 inches right there. That's what she said.
And that's too much room.
Get it?
You're right. She's that person.
Yes, she is.
She's that person.
So now, that's what you're dealing with. He's like the friend. Oh, no, we're good. I'm just going to bring you something to eat.
no.
Oh, what, you like to shoot somebody today? No problem. You can cry on my shoulder. He's one of those. He's like, no, I don't want nothing from you, girl. I just want to be friends. You know, you need somebody to...
You see what I'm saying? You see
That's
what
what
happens?
happens.
You see what
That's
happens?
what
You talking
happens.
crazy? That's what
That's
happens. You
what
talking
happens.
crazy.
Like this shit.
You talking
You
crazy.
just
What
need
happens?
somebody to... You just need somebody to kind of...
We all need
Now y'all,
somebody
we're
to
back
let know.
in, we're back in a minute and 28 seconds.
Oh my gosh, I'm transitioning to you, okay?
That's fine.
Legend Roofing has
Oh my gosh, look at that.
and roofing excellence and
Look, she's looking at you too like, wait.
Because you talking too much. I
She's
could
like-
have been all the way over there by now if you hadn't said
I'm
that.
trying to look out. Look, that's my
If you
soror.
hadn't said that, I could have been all the way over there.
That's my soror, okay? I'm trying to make sure.
What do you mean?
Get over here.
For more information,
You know, we're trying to make sure.
404-308.
Man, shot my shot. I know you talking about.
That's
And listen, if you're good at what you've done, you do. You would have been shot.
It wasn't.
Wouldn't matter. I wouldn't matter. I wouldn't matter.
You
If you
still
were
don't.
good at what you did, you would have shot your shot.
You still don't matter.
But clearly, he's still trying to inch over
Harold.
in the
All
office
right,
chair.
35 seconds. We back hot on the mind.
Week B11 and 12.
She'll leave that man alone.
Okay, I'm kidding.
Don't
I
that.
love John. He's one of my favorite people.
25 seconds, Shell.
11 to 3. Work on
Leave that man alone there.
I'm leaving him
Monday through
alone.
Thursday.
What you say?
5 to 8.
What is that talking
We
about?
were having a conversation.
Wednesday, karaoke.
15 seconds, Shell.
All right.
She didn't get another thing.
I know.
Tuesday night is game
All
night.
that shit.
10,
That's
9,
right, I can't. Look.
7,
OldDax.com.
5,
678-973-0030. Ask about our drink and food specials.
What's up, friends? Wake up! We're back. On according to Michelle on MixXXX106radio.com. Everybody's like, what's next? What's she doing? Oh, I'm coming for you.
Come on with it.
Look at you, just all close and comfortable.
Man, listen.
Let me just, I'm putting, oh, and then he scooted up. Guys, I'm gonna.
See how they get on you, John.
Guys,
You gotta stay with me, John. You gotta stay
I'm
with
on your team, man.
If you're
you gotta stay with
listening,
me.
Right?
if you are listening right now on MixXXX106radio.com, you should just follow me on Instagram or on Facebook so you can see what I can see. Look at everybody jumping in. Look at everybody jumping in. They're like, oh, we want to see it. Oh, I see. I'm letting you in. I'm letting you in, friends. There he is right there. He's like, he's smooth operator. That's what I'm playing the break. Guys, we were messing with him on the break because he started off on the edge of the table. See right there, friends? And now because he thinks the chief is so cute, he's just inched himself right all the way over.
I see there's something wrong with you.
What's wrong with it, man?
I'm telling you.
Don't nobody
I was
listen to
special needs, but you was slow though, Shell.
Still is.
And look, at least last one on that same bus you were on. Look, as long as that didn't happen, I'm straight. I'm straight. I'm just joking. I love you, John. You're
It's
funny.
all
You
almost funny is what you said.
almost funny.
You said
I know,
it.
but I was just saying that for comedic value.
That's all.
I mean, I think you're hilarious.
That's all.
Now, I've never actually heard your stand-up, but you look like somebody who would be on.
Wait a minute. You just going in, Shell.
I know. I'm kidding. I have heard him.
It's black on black hate.
He
That's
is
probably gonna
fine.
happen.
He is a fine comedian. He's a fine comedian. But no, like I said earlier, what I really do love about what you're doing is that you get the business side of things, right? But, excuse me, we talk all the time about purpose and about passion. And it is literally never too late. What are you, 60, 62? No?
I didn't know you were so funny.
Yeah, she is just
I did not
always.
know you were that
Oh,
funny.
JRP gonna sue us, Shell. I'm just-
I know. Hey, listen, I don't look.
If I told you-
Everybody got to sign a waiver before they even come
If I
in.
told you my age, you wouldn't believe it.
I probably wouldn't know. Seriously, how do you mind? How old are you?
I really am.
He's 28
Are you
years old.
seriously 28?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 28.
Are you for real?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he been drinking liquor
Let me see
since
your
he-
driver.
Huh? 6 months old.
You drink brown liquor every night?
6
Boss
months
nigga.
old.
Go 45.
Let me see your driver's license.
You don't believe for real?
No.
Why?
You're 28?
As far as I know.
No, because you've accomplished, I mean,
A lot.
you've got, yeah, you really have. I mean, with the hospice and then, I mean, seriously. Okay, wait, maybe not, because my math is so good.
Yeah,
Let's see here.
yeah.
2020, oh, that's expiration, okay.
Wow.
Wow.
19, wait a minute, you were born in 1990?
As far as I know.
Yeah, he's 29, gonna be 29.
I'll be 29 now.
In November.
November. Young man.
Okay, I just thought, some people just look young, but you've done a lot, so I just think you had to be at least 32, 33, at least.
If you watch 9,000 people die, it wears on. It wears on. I'm just telling you. That's a lot of
You
death.
got jokes, man.
That's a lot of death.
You got jokes. I heard what you said too, Chief. I heard you said. I heard you said.
What'd you say?
Say you probably waiting on the Oh, right.
Okay. I'm done, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done. I
That's
can't.
my homegirl right
I can't. Friends, I'm sorry. You guys, it's hard. You don't understand how hard this job is because you gotta go between people making dumbass comments and try to stay focused in here, especially when you got a comedian on. But I'm saying that was funny. That was good.
I see what you did there.
I do see what he did there. It was hilarious. But okay, so you have this hospice. How did you? Because it's not. It hasn't even. It's not like it's been around for 30 or 40 years old. It's a fairly new business venture, right?
It is.
So talk to me about how you guys got into hospice and why did you choose? Why did you choose that field?
So my grandmother was diagnosed. What's so funny?
No, let the man tell the story.
I'm still laughing at his last
Go
joke.
ahead.
I'm listening. I got
That
you.
was funny. I thought you did that. So my grandmother in 2002 was diagnosed with cancer in Chicago. We decided to put her on a hospice company there.
We had no idea what hospice was at the time.
A lot of people don't.
Right.
Yeah.
So exploring that.
But actually, why don't, you know what? Tell us what hospice is, because there are probably a lot of
We'll
people
get
don't
there.
know.
We'll get there.
No, I want you to tell them now.
Now, they have to know like right now.
Yes.
Hospice is a philosophy of care. And what we do is we ensure that people who are terminally ill are comfortable in those diseases and things that they're facing that have no cure. We ensure that they have comfort care. So in that, what we do is we do all of our services in-home. So we take everything to you. So we take everything from the CNA to the nurses, the nurse practitioners, and then a lot of people don't know that we do equipment as well. So that hospital bed that you would pay $4,000 or $5,000 for, we now deliver to your home free of charge. And then those medications that coincide with your diagnosis, we now deliver those medications to your home free of charge as well.
So it's in-home hospice?
We do in-home hospice. So it's
Do
whatever,
you have
whatever
bricks
you
and
call
mortar
home.
also, or is it all in-home?
No, we just have an office.
Gotcha.
Right, but
Okay.
we can contract with other facilities, like
Okay.
assisted living facilities, nursing homes, et cetera, and do our care inside of those places as well.
Got you. Wow, that's great.
So 2003, grandmother was, she expired in Chicago hospice. We moved here in 2007. My mother was diagnosed with colon cancer in 07. I was 15. Yeah, I was 15. So I became her primary caregiver, myself and my brother. And my brother's 2 years older than I am. My brother was at Morehouse at the time, so I was living at home. So I was my mother's primary caregiver. So I was taking her back and forth to the doctor, back and forth to the emergency room and things like that at all hours of the night. And then I went over, she was cancer free in 2009 when I graduated high school. And then I went away to college. Came back here one spring break. I played baseball through school. I came back here one spring break and she pulled me in her room and told me that she had a very, very rare cancer and there was no cure for it. So at that moment, I had to make a decision of what I needed to do. I mean, I had tons of people looking at me to go pro and play baseball and things like that.
So you were playing ball while you were?
I was playing baseball.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was my real thing.
Did you say you were at Morehouse or your brother?
No, my brother was.
Where were you in school?
Illinois Central College.
Got it. And you were all destined for, I mean, not destined, but you were headed for another path.
I was on my way.
Really? Okay.
So yeah, when I came back here, my mother pulled me aside and told me that she had that cancer, and that her oncologist was telling her that there was nothing else that they could do for her. So at that point, I had to make a decision, what do I do? So I went back to school for about a week, and I just started to tell my coaches and my other peers, well, some of my closest peers, that I couldn't stay. I just had to go. So I dropped everything and I drove home. I didn't tell my mother I was coming. It was just more sort of like, because I knew she would be disappointed. I left the scholarship behind 100%. And I decided that I needed to be home taking care of my mother. So I came back here, we did all those things. So my mother was working actually for a hospice company during that stint of her illness. And at that point, she just decided, I don't really want to do the chemotherapy. I don't want to do the radiation anymore. I've done it. It made me sicker than the disease and I'm tired. However, again, at this time I was 21. And I couldn't really fathom my mother leaving me, but that was just me being selfish, right? With her working in that field, we decided from there that we would, my brother being an entrepreneur in his own right, said, why don't we just start our own? And she was like, I'm tired. I'm tired, period. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do any of the fighting. I don't want to do any of the chemotherapy.
So at this point, she's not on any treatment
She
now,
was
right?
doing,
Or she's finishing
she was finishing, yeah.
Okay.
So we were there, and then what we did was just decided, like, look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start our own hospice, period. And she was like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't have time. So we took her books, notebooks, all of this stuff to her chemotherapy room. Tell us what it takes to do it, and
Wow.
we'll do it. What is it that you've seen in these other hospice programs that you've worked for that you would really want to see had we needed to put you on hospice, right? So once we did that, we got all that information together, and then February 14th of 2015, we opened Precious Hospice. Mother's still here. She's the director of business.
That is
operations.
crazy.
That's an amazing story.
She's still here.
That's an amazing story.
So she stopped treatment for a minute, because she didn't want to do anything.
Well, she didn't want to do it, but she never stopped.
Okay.
She just kept saying,
I don't wanna do it,
this.
right.
Yeah, I don't really want to.
She wanted to give up, and then you guys just wouldn't let her.
Mm-hmm. still here. My brother's the CEO and I'm the program support manager.
And she's the director
She's
of.
the director of business operations.
That is crazy. So is she in remission right now?
No, she's cancer free.
Wow.
She is cancer free completely.
That's from colon cancer?
Colon cancer and uterine cancer. 2-time cancer survivor.
That's,
And y'all treated her at the hospice facility?
No, we never had to put her on.
Oh, wow.
We never had to put her on.
From willingness to live, probably.
Yeah, that's it.
From them, they.
Right.
they drive.
Never had to put her
well,
on.
isn't it funny how sometimes, and this happens whether it's a family member or if it's a, I mean, we need, this is funny. Terrence Albritton probably saw me on Facebook. He's calling. He's probably gonna try to give you a shirt. The guy that owns Grady Baby. Yeah, yeah. He's probably he just chimed in.
Thank you.
But there are so many times when we're not enough, right? We think we're enough. We
Right.
think we're enough to be able to push the boulder uphill, but it takes sometimes, a lot of times, all the time, somebody else believing for us because no matter how strong you are, there are always going to be days where you feel like, okay, maybe not, right?
Mhm.
Maybe not. But without you and your brother, your mom would be dead.
Mhm.
I mean, she would have given up willingly,
Mhm.
right? So without you guys pulling for her, that's an amazing story to me.
That's an amazing story.
And you have a business out of it. So this is something else we talk about a lot, and you know this, the difference between success and significance.
Mhm.
And when you're successful, you achieve your own level of whatever good looks like to you, right?
Mhm.
And then you stop. And my belief is that the world is full of successful people, and the world is in shambles because successful people stop at success and they don't strive for significance.
Mhm.
And you and your brother were striving for significance. Significance is when you have the power to affect other people so that they can affect other people.
Right.
And that's what you guys have done by opening this business. I mean, in so many different ways, you're an inspiration, your mother's an inspiration, your brother's an inspiration, and who knows, you might not have followed your dream to become, to really play out this entertainment thing. You might have been playing ball and been a successful ball player.
Right.
But now you're a significant business owner,
Right.
right?
Right.
And you're branching into this other, and you've been really good at comedy for not being in it very long. You've been on tour, you've opened for greats like DC Curry, and you're halfway funny.
Halfway. Almost.
Almost funny.
Yeah, almost.
Lord, have mercy.
He's almost, he's so
Rough.
close to being funny.
Almost.
Almost. But seriously though, to listen to that story, when you dropped, didn't you see when he said his mom is still here, it was like everybody was just, it's like this whole, something happened
I usually leave that.
in the
for-
room.
Yeah.
Something happened in the room. That's crazy.
I think that was our question.
Yeah. I usually.
I know, right? Everybody's waiting, like, okay, where's
And
his
then
mom?
she
What's that?
passed.
It's like,
Oh, she's still here.
I always leave it for last. 'Cause it's my driving point. That's what gets me up every morning, literally. So it wakes me up every day.
and for you to be 28,
Mhm.
you are just, you were a baby. 1990, you know what I was doing in 1990?
I know. She
Okay, all right, Fred. Okay. Guys.
She was being successful. She was in the academy.
Yeah, she was
She just told us she was in the academy. But you?
You were doing some stuff.
Guys, you're listening to According to Michelle on MixX106radio.com. If you were following me on Instagram or Facebook, you'd be able to see the face that my so-called lifelong friend just made.
Wow,
When
she
I
know-
said, do you know what I was doing in 1990? She's like, oh.
Oh, Lord, don't tell it all. I was there too.
Please don't entertain him, friends. Don't entertain him. But seriously, for you, that's amazing. All right, so talk to me about this comedy thing, because if this whole cops and robbers doesn't work out for Melody, I think she's gonna switch gears. So help her. Like, how'd you dive into this comedy? Because you've been doing all these stage plays. You've directed and acted in over 30 stage plays. So where does theater come in to this?
So I've always had a passion for entertainment.
Yeah.
And I'll just be frank, I got it through.
No, don't be frank. Just be who you are.
So I've always
Yeah,
had.
no, nothing. You don't see what I did there?
Don't be Frankie John. I see what you did there.
There you go.
So yeah, I've always had a inner passion for entertaining. I've always liked to entertain people, and that started with all the black people that started in the church when we used to plays and all that other foolishness. Yeah.
The Easter play?
Yeah, Easter play. I just came to say Happy Easter. I never got it right. Never got it right. Oh, Lord, jeez. But yeah, I've always wanted to entertain. I just didn't know what avenue of entertainment I wanted to take. I was sitting in the living room one day at my grandmother's house. I was 12, and I saw this guy on TV, bright orange suit, BT Comic View. And I said, Grandma, that's Uncle. Turn the TV off. Turn the TV off. I said, why did you mean turn the TV off? That's my uncle. So she said, turn the TV off. I don't want y'all watching that. And he rang the doorbell about 20 minutes later. It was Don D.C. Curry. And that was my uncle. So I didn't know. I knew who he was, but I didn't know the extent. So when I saw him on TV, I was like, this is crazy. What does he do? I never asked him what he did. I was a little boy. I asked grown people what they do for a living. So once I figured that out, it was more so of now I'm sneaking trying to follow him and see what it is he really does. So once I kind of dove into that, it was just for me a situation where I just felt like entertaining people was what I should be doing. So I started doing stage plays when I was really young, and I started touring with a couple stage plays, and then from then I just started directing, and it was just recently that I really just jumped into stand-up. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. TV was kind of like, I'll do it, but I want to be in front of the people. I want that.
You want the energy.
I build off energy.
Right.
Yeah,
And so that makes sense. That's why you did the stage plays.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
I build off energy, so I can get more of a reaction out of you, and a pure reaction
Right.
out of you. If I can do this in front of you, and you just look at me like I'm not standing here, then I know I need to go fix something. Yeah. But I mean, if I can get the laughs, you're not gonna get laughs every night. It's just the way it is.
Right.
But you got to keep going. It's a persistence thing.
So wait, did DC Curry act a fool at your house?
He acts the same way all the time.
He's always
He's always
crazy.
He's the same person all day long. All day long, he's the same person. So it's not out of the ordinary for me, to see him on stage and
Right.
or to see him at the house. You know what I mean? It's just I know what I'm getting.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's it, because when you open for him and you're touring with him, what does he think about what you're doing, and what's it demeanor? You guys have like a,
He doesn't talk much.
doesn't he?
He does, but he doesn't talk much about. Yeah, that's him. He talks much, but he doesn't talk much about that. He gives me. When I first told him I wanted to do stand up, I was at his house, and he went to the basement and came upstairs with about 7 books. He said, read this. I said, no, I don't want to be a reader. I want to bring these books for me. I don't do that. I ain't finished school, man. I want to do stand up. He gave me his book. He said, man, you got to read. You got to study your craft. You got to develop.
So what were the books?
One was comedy writing, The Secrets of Comedy
Oh,
Writing.
wow.
And then one was developing crowds, developing yourself. Crowd work. It was just a bunch of different phases of comedy, and then a lot of them were actually some of the things that I studied in college, which was rhetorical studies. So a lot of it was wordplay, figuring out how to word things in ways that aren't offensive, figuring out how to backdoor people with jokes, figuring out how to just really command crowds. And it was just it's a work in progress. It was a lot of books, and I sat there and I read them. I've read all of them, and I still read them now, because as you go forward, you can't just stop reading. You can't stop practicing. You can't stop working that craft. So I sit down and I take about 30 minutes or an hour every day and read something out of one of those books. And it's random. It's just like whatever's in front of me, I'll pick it up and read it.
Wow. Wow. So how's that helped you?
It's helped because I don't do a lot of a lot of my comedy is not just off the wall stuff. And a lot of my stuff, I like for it to be somewhat educational.
Gotcha.
It may be crazy. It may sound crazy. It may be like, where did you get this from? But at some point, I want you to take something away.
Right.
So those books have helped me to kind of use different writing techniques, different writing elements and things like that to kind of make it all come together. Because anybody can get up there and tell a joke, right?
Right.
But the thing is, I try to be as diverse as possible. So I try to be able to
Diverse in what?
I try to be able to reach crowds who, and I've tried. The new children don't do it for me. Hilarious, right? Yeah, the new children don't do it.
Children.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that, because I have a older soul, so to speak.
Yeah,
So
like
a lot
Chiefia, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that I saw growing up, right, and then a lot of things that I've even witnessed now doing hospice and other things like that. I see a lot of things that older people can relate to.
Right.
So I like to kind of drive my crowds with older people, and then being on the road or touring or whatever, to be open up for people like DC who's older than I am. His crowds are not, the new children are not paying for that. They're not interested, right? The new children are paying to see the new children.
Right.
So when people come
And you know,
out,
you're not far from being the new
that's not what
children.
we're talking about.
I mean, you're
That's not-
kind of one of the new
that's
children.
not- that's not
But
what
I
I'm
see
talking
what you're doing here,
We're
please.
not talking about that. But yeah, so a lot of my comedy it's I find that a lot of people who are about 30 and over can relate to it, and I'm cool with that.
Right.
I know my lane, I know my niche, and I'm good.
He said it like he was trying to, like I was trying to punk him. I'm with
No,
you. I get it.
I'm
I
good.
get it.
Yeah, I'm good. So even from there, you know, and there's always a different niche with comedy, right? Anybody can go up and tell a joke at Uptown, right, or any of the local comedy clubs. So what I've done most recently was launch my own gospel comedy tour.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that everybody can do, and it's not something that everybody's willing to do. So I had a lady call me one day and say, "Hey, I got a church, about 700 people, and I want you to come do comedy." I was like, I don't know if I can do that, because I just did the comedy club, and I say a lot of things I can't say in church. But I was like, you know what, I can do this. She gave me about 4 weeks, and I was like, let me prep myself. I can do this. So I called a bunch of my homies. I was like, look, I got a comedy show. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna pay. Let's go do it. No.
Nobody wanted to.
Can't do it.
Okay,
Can't
so
do it. Can't do
because
it.
I mean, it's just too much sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
I think so, and I think that once you get in that mode and you're just running from one comedy club to the next, it's hard for you to kind of scale back because you have your set of like 10 minutes that you can go do anywhere.
Right.
And it's
you
hard
gotta
for
you gotta change your paradigm kind of.
You have to.
Right.
You have to.
Right.
But it's not hard for me because I grew up in the church. So I have, you know, a book of jokes that I have that are just for church settings, and I have another
Right.
book.
So you just kind of gotta go back
I just go
to when you were
wherever I need to go.
16.
Yesterday.
Like 3 years ago.
When I did that. Yesterday.
All right, hold that thought for me. Speaking of going back to things, guys, we got to go all the way back to about 23 minutes ago when we ran commercials. We're going to rush some more commercials, guys. You're listening to According to Michelle on MixXXX106.com. Hang tight for me while we pay some bills. We'll be right back. So he's talking about on here. On the internet, they can hear the phone. He's talking about on Facebook. And because they hear us differently on socials than because when you're talking to like here, internet picks up right. If it's not, he's gonna tell you. If he tells you, if he ever goes like this, he's run. You should run.
Cheryl, I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
I got 2 AKs. My worst nightmare. I'm just telling you.
His daughter just played.
Yeah.
His daughter, she just crossed. You ever heard from Isaiah?
I hadn't heard nothing. I got my phone crunk up and everything.
Guys,
I'm ready.
we are almost done. We're 3:20. We only got about 40 minutes left. And according to Michelle on MixXXX106.com, you're listening. We're in studio right now. BTS behind the scenes with John Mason, comedian. Uncle is DC Curry. I kind of see family resemblance. Actually, I don't know. And Chief Deputy, DeKalb County Sheriff's Office. My dear friend and swarm, Melody Maddox, looking it up. Let's see these pictures. Let's look at these pictures. There you go. Oh my gosh, it looks exactly like this. I know, I'm just joking. Look, that's the same. Look, she's right here. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about this. You don't want to talk about this, but I did. That is so hot.
That is. I saw
That's
the
banging.
bar.
You see this, guys? Look at this. She just got, what's it, Law and Justice Awards. You see that? Can you put that book in the, go ahead, help me out here, friend. You're not doing anything but sitting there looking pretty. No, in that camera.
Oh, I thought you were.
See, you see how much clothes? Look how close I
I
have now.
thought you wanted me to look
Now-
at it. What you want the people to see it?
There you go.
Okay, that's good.
Look, she's right in front of you.
They saw it.
Now he's like, looking at me. He's like, can y'all turn around and close your eyes for a minute?
Ah! Just give them a minute.
Yeah, real quick minute.
Just give them a minute.
Just a real quick minute here. Let's see what we got, friends. Look at these pictures. Young Teens Talk. I love that. What is Young Teens Talk? Thanks for chiming in on the show today. What is that? Chief Melody Max. Law enforcement is not just a job. It's a passion. It's gotta be. I mean, you guys, you got a hard job. Oh, look at that. Susan Taylor.
Only 13%.
Rocket.
Only 13%.
13%.
I bet you if we had 90%, it'd be better.
Oh, women in law enforcement?
Oh yeah, we had 90% women. Crime be down.
You think so?
Women know how to de-escalate.
Yeah, we talk.
Women, right. I actually saw a lady, an Atlanta PD, and I don't even know her name, but the situation was tense when she came on scene with Marta. You know, they police, they be ready to fight. They don't down. It could be a 90-year-old woman, they ready to slap her. And the lady was like, look, she said, she told them to whatever, and the person had mental disorder, and they was having a psychotic break, and she said, come on, and walked him to the car and everything, cleaned the dude's face and cleaned his hands off and was talking to him and everything, and she had like a granola bar that she gave him. They were ready to tear this dude alive, and this lady.
The granola bar is the part of the story that got you.
Hey, they got me. I said, damn, he getting
Oh,
both of them.
He
He getting all both of them.
She's like, again, she gave him a granola bar.
Yeah. And she de-escalated the whole because she could identify what the problem was. They were still ready to tase and all of that. She de-escalated everything. And I think that, here's the thing. This is my opinion. I might be wrong, but the statistics bear it out. In law enforcement, FBI agents, 98% of them never use their gun ever in their whole 20, 30-year career, right? Because the training teaches you how to de-escalate and overwhelm the person to the point where they don't have to use violent encounters, right? But most people will say, well, that's because they don't deal with the general public, right? But in situations that we've seen where they use tactics other than physical violence,
And that could be is if they don't do the general public, everything like that. I mean, and I don't anymore like that, but I still do to a certain extent, not as much. But at the same time, you think about it, women in the household, we take care of the household, we take care of our grandmothers and grandfathers, we take care of the sick. So we understand and we can tell when there's something else going on besides that. They have some sort of illness that's happening. And again, that comes back to training. That's why I am now making mandatory for all of my officers, all of them that all my deputized officers to be going through intervention training and we teach them how to deal with mental illness, psychosis, body and mind toes. And when you're not, it's a lot of it out there, but you must go on how to deal with it. It's all about having empathy with them and bringing them into real health. Don't stop. It's just again, it's like what we spoke about, education.
right?
We should have to educate these officers.
And this place is unique. I'll tell you. If you go other places, they want the dumbest little dude they can get most.
Put the shit together on the glue.
You know what I'm saying? They be getting some of them, man. I'm telling you that.
Guys, see how generous I am? I'm a giver. I'm cold as hell. I'm cold AF. But you know what I'm going to do? Because my friend is here. My friend is here, and she's cold. This is what 30 years of friendship looks like, friends.
That was the problem.
Not really, because I'm only 30. So, if I were older than that, you're welcome.
Right. You cold for me.
I
Are you serious?
who I am.
I got a heater if you like.
A heater? It's 99,000 degrees outside.
I didn't have a Zen.
Outside, I get it. All right. I see, I got it. Guys, we're on right. Oh, we got people chimed in. Let's see. Desi Date Night says, GC.
What's up, Big Dad?
Tailgate Party Committee, what's up? Hey, you gotta send me the stuff about that event.
I'm going to the Low Country Boil tomorrow, I swear to God.
Who? Look what you brought. You got an invite? Let me call my
Hey, y'all
chef.
going to Eastport tonight to see Goody Mom?
No.
We'll be there.
You the host over there?
He's hosting
Oh, I was about to say, I'm going to be there.
I'll be there.
No, I got Dr. Sasha tonight.
Oh, you can't go? Guys, you gotta come. I'll be at East Point tonight at Goody Mom concert. Desi, we're today's National Tequila Day. What happened?
National National
Tequila.
Tequila Day.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about that. You grew up on it, I understand. I don't drink like that.
I haven't been. I'm not grown up yet. That's what I'm saying.
Y'all know it's National
All right, let's see.
Tequila
What's
Day.
up, Milwaukee Jeff? How are you? You ever been to Milwaukee? What's up, Milwaukee Jeff? I'm the Rocket. I rocked the Rocket this morning with my coach, Carter, and I am not rocking anything right now because my legs are on fire. So there's that. Thank you, Rocket. Because I'm hurt around here. East Point, Michigan? Is that near Detroit? How much time I got, DC?
We got 3 commercials after this go off in 3 seconds.
All right, guys, we're on a break. This is what happens behind the scenes. Isn't it exciting? Sometimes we eat, sometimes we drink, sometimes we laugh and cry. Independence through entrepreneurship, friends.
Welcome to Atlanta Premier OBGYN.
Independence through entrepreneurship.
I can get you some wine if y'all want some.
We don't want that Boone's Farm you got in the back.
She already know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, really?
I got some red wine in there.
You sound on the grapes yourself?
Y'all slipping. Y'all slipping.
Gotta be some good wine. You made it. Look who makes wine, friends. You're welcome.
Today for your appointment at 678-705-4900.
Boom! Tell them about your wine.
OBGYN, where we
I ain't steady.
Today is July 24th.
Is your
Is it? Oh, yeah, it
Have you
is.
experienced
Yeah, I need y'all to sign the petition. We
Petition for what?
protesting Jumbo Airlines that just came out.
This is about to be a joke.
It's not a joke.
Jumbo Airlines? What's Jumbo Airlines? Has anybody ever heard of Jumbo
It's like a
Airlines?
regional
Y'all know what Jumbo Airlines is?
They out of the Northwest, out of Washington State.
Why are we protesting them?
Because they are not fat friendly. They got wide seats, but they got a slogan that's pissing me off.
I told you. You went along with them, Jumbo Airlines, really? Oh, you and your lady? You and your lady?
You and your girl.
You just find the right time.
Guys, look at the rocket man.
In 30 seconds, we
I
high.
change lives, friends. That's mighty close over there, friend.
Are we at
We
3?
also
Did he offer you a piece of candy yet?
retirement strategy.
You want some of my candy? You want some of my
You want some hot candy?
You want some of her candy? Guys, look at this.
15 seconds.
John Mason.
You gonna eat your cornbread. 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4,
How long am I going?
3, 2.
All right, guys, you are back on According to Michelle on MixXX106Radio.com. If you're not following me on Instagram or on Facebook and you're not seeing this live, guys, you're missing so much of the fun. Michelle Taylor Willis. It's super fun. Chief went fun, yes. It's loads of fun, friends. Loads of fun. We're sitting here talking, and I think since we've been gone, let's see how close the chair-o-meter. Let's see how close we are.
What's up, people doing? Crazy.
And, oh, look at that. The arms of the the chair are almost, they're almost kissing. They're so close.
That's so funny.
See, now let me tell you what's really funny about this, guys. When I first started this, he was like, what? Now he's like laughing. He's going along with it. He's like, it's working. It's working.
I didn't want you to tell any more of my business.
Oh, listen. Hey, look. We had 200,000 listeners yet. We got 200,000 people.
Oh,
All
so
up
everybody
in-
know.
All up in your Kool-Aid.
Good.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. It's 200,000. I know. Chief was like, back to my gun and holster. No. So speaking of this, because success and significance really was a key takeaway from your story, but what you're doing a lot with women is on the significance level, right? Because you're not just a cop and robber. Oh wait, no, not the robber, just the cop. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, you're not just the cop. You're not just the chief, but you own a business too, right? And you're empowering women. So talk to us about that. The CEO of Woman to Woman, right?
It's called Woman to Woman Personal Awareness and Safety Training. And what I do is teach women self-defense class and how situational awareness. So what it does is just allows you, first of all, is look, not put yourself in that situation in order to put yourself, to have to fight yourself out of. But I teach you defensive moves that you can use that will remove yourself from the threat and allow you to get to a safe environment. And my curriculum is based on the crowd, so my curriculum can be towards something like with the kids going back to school. I would love to put on one for the school. So if anybody out there want me to come to the school?
Oh man, we got so many connections in school.
Yes.
I mean, can you step outside of DeKalb County, or does it have to be?
Safety is safety for all.
Right.
And that's what I do. This is a gift that was given to me.
So we need to get you connected with Dr. Whitaker in South Fulton. Shoot, Dr. Mooney, the new superintendent for Fulton County Schools,
Fulton County.
Westlake, Duke
Wait a
Bradley.
minute now, Michelle, you can't take me too far out of DeKalb County, because then my folks over in DeKalb will be like, wait a minute, you're a homegrown girl, but I
You understand you're in SoFu.
I understand that I'm in SoFu.
There is
but my
that.
roots are in DeKalb.
Well, you can keep your roots
So
in,
I have to,
but
I have to go back.
That's
to my
Sharon
but
roots.
Showcase
trees,
right there.
the branches,
Say it.
yeah. What do you say? That's right.
Sharon Showcase.
Sensations.
Yeah, back in
These
the
big
day.
great.
Right
That's
there.
all way
Right
back.
there, right there.
Way old school. That's way before 1990.
Yeah, wait.
What?
Way before 1990.
Yeah.
Way before
I
1990.
feel my daughter's 34, so
Your daughter is 34?
That blew me away.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, my baby
My
about to be 30.
30, yeah. She's 34. She'll be 35 this year.
We be
Yeah, my
getting
mother.
it, man.
We have 3 grandkids. Yes.
Okay, I promise you I'm not saying this because you're sitting across from me. I honestly didn't think you were more than like 40.
I'm 53.
God dang it. Guess who else is 53? My beautiful cousin sitting
There
in
you
the
go.
corner.
See, you represent. See,
Look at her.
and
She's
representing. Look
53,
at her.
ain't she?
And
Look
she's
at her.
representing too. Say it.
I have what?
Fabulous at 50. 50
Oh,
plus.
yes.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
54 in a couple
Yes.
days.
Yeah, they look good.
I'm
Shit.
celebrating
They,
her.
look at that skin.
Yes,
Yeah,
look
they,
at it.
they look great.
Yes.
Stop.
It's all in.
it.
She's like,
Stop
stop
it.
it.
They look good. I gotta get some work done.
I gotta get some work done.
I have a transplant.
Well, you're gonna need more than that, sweetie, because she is much older than
I
you.
didn't ask you about that.
Okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, enough of you.
Just let me move my
Enough
chair
of
up a little
you.
bit closer.
He's like, oh,
See,
I
you know
That
what?
makes it even greater.
He's like, oh,
That's even
yeah.
better.
Like, yeah.
wow. He's like 53, that's right.
She had her career, she got to get retired.
You hear me?
Wow.
She ready to get her retired.
That's a lottery
Well, you know, when
ticket.
you said retirement early, I was
Well,
just thinking maybe you just early retirement and then you're gonna transition into, some, more business or something. But I mean, that's crazy.
Well, and at 10 years, you're vested at some agency. So after 10 years at DeKalb County, I took an early retirement. So at 50, I was able to start drawing on my retirement. And so this is basically like my second, and also with 10 years with the state, you're vested with the state of Georgia, and Georgia Piedmont is the state. So, yes.
And Georgia Piedmont is where you were the first black,
I
right?
was the first female
Black.
African American female chief of police for Georgia Piedmont Tech College. I was the only female out of the 22 colleges in the technical system. Yes.
Wow.
That is it.
Yes.
That is it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Too bad you're not in SoFu. I'd be in the magazine. Yeah, take that back to DeKalb County.
We got
Stay
you.
over there with
Don't
all
you
your
worry.
education.
That's all right.
stuff.
We'll just do Uncommon Ground News then.
Okay, all right, yeah, we do need to show this. Guys, if you're watching us on Instagram or on Facebook Live, you can see one of these great this great article that was just published on July 12th, showing Chief being on. That was your birthday. Happy birthday.
Wait a minute.
Chief being sworn in here, right? I mean, she's all over the news. You just type her in Google. Look at him. He's like, oh, I need to zoom in. He's putting his hands on the newspaper like it's not. You can't go like this on paper. You can't
touch the hem of the garment.
That's the only scripture you know. That's the only one you know. Wow. You been saying that all year.
I've been saying that all. I've been waiting on my woman. Oh, she said it.
Please go back to telling us how you're protecting women. You know, I know martial arts too.
No.
Now, just kicking people in the nuts still work.
Let me tell you something.
Because that's what we used to do.
I don't knock any of those, the martial arts, the other defensive tactics. Again, my moves, it removes you from the threat, kind of allows you to get away from. And again, it talks about situational awareness. When you first walk into a restaurant, how you look around, where are your exits? A lot of people go and sit in, they don't look around the surroundings and see where their exits are. I'm always the what if. Even in the role that I play as the chief deputy, I walked in with my staff and was like, what if? What if? I would rather be prepared than not prepared. I'm a proactive person, not a reactive.
Right.
So that's what my business do. And I love what I do. And I've gone to, traveled around a little bit in the state of Georgia putting on these classes.
Really? Now, is it a nonprofit or?
No, it's for profit,
Okay.
but I pretty much, if it's the schools, I don't charge, of course, don't charge the schools and faith-based.
Really?
Because again, it's a gift that God has given me, and I'm not gonna charge someone else for something that God has given me for free.
Really? Oh, well, I guess I
That's
need
how
to
I feel.
read
That's how I feel about my water bill. That should be charged.
Now, that's different. Now, I think that's free. God gave that to us.
That's how I feel about my water bill.
There is a fee. We do. There is a
light
light
bill. God said, let that be light. You gonna charge me for God's lights? You gonna charge me for God's lights? Ain't that something?
You was my preacher. You was my preacher.
We do a little small fee, but then I also have items that I give the pros and cons when I bring in my recommendations of items to carry with you or what you should use and what you can do around the house. I also put on classes for young ladies that are getting ready to go to college. You know, we talk about date rape, going to the fraternity parties, sorority and fraternity parties, being alone in the dorms, walking to and from different campuses. You know, in AU Center, we walk from one campus to the other, and it's extremely dark.
Right.
So we get into all of that, is the how-to and how to prevent.
Right.
Yeah, because I know when I go to a restaurant, I rarely sit with my back to the door. I need to know how fast I need to run to get out in case something happens. You know what I'm saying?
I rather
So-
sit my back to the kitchen.
But see, actually, and believe it or not, that's the place that you want to look. The kitchen would be the first place that you want to run to, because guess what? They have a back door. Everybody's gonna try to run to the front door. See, everybody's gonna always wanna run to that same door that one person is running. See, that's why when you see that crowd going that way, I'm gonna go the opposite.
Right.
I look for all my exes when I walk in the restaurant.
But Chief, I'm gonna tell you something that's very effective that I've always used throughout my career. And anything I go through, I just be screaming. It works for me. They said, look at that big old boy screaming.
Screaming works, man. They just don't know. Screaming works, man. They don't
And
understand.
again, guys, if you're following me on Michelle Taylor Willis on Instagram and Facebook, you gotta see this. You're listening to Queen Michelle, mix7x106radio.com. Let me see. Do it again. What do you do,
I be
DC?
screaming.
Get away from me!
And that's actually good.
That works,
Because
man.
you make
That's
noise.
what they- yeah,
You
you
make
gotta-
noise.
That's what I tell my kids. Like, if someone just start, I tell them, like, that's not my line. That's not my line. Just go crazy, right? Because
Get
people
loud.
need to. It causes a diversion, right?
Yeah,
Now,
just get loud.
when you do that,
He's
he's like, hey, whoever's robbing him's like, never mind.
No. The witnesses, they remember you though. The old lady was looking at the one. She said, Krispy Kreme down the street, baby. Down there in the West End.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
That's my
Shit.
favorite Krispy Kreme.
I had some Krispy Kreme the other day, man.
I'm sorry.
The light was on too.
The light was on.
What?
But you bring up a really good point though, because I mean, life really. I mean, there's so many things. We're reactive people,
Yes.
right?
we are.
So usually things happen, and then we do something to fix whatever happened, right?
Right.
But if we thought more from a proactive standpoint, right, and really did things that were more proactive in nature as opposed to reactive, then a lot of those things or several of those things probably would not happen. right?
Exactly. A lot of times we put ourselves in predicaments and
That's right.
situations to get ourselves out.
You're right.
You know, I look when we do, I do my shopping class, when the holidays come, I do the, how to shop safely during the holidays. And as I walk around the grocery store.
How do you shop safely?
You don't.
Well,
Just don't shop.
again, being aware.
Stay on Amazon,
Spend my money.
Amazon
Right,
Prime.
actually, that's the best way. Try to do it online and do the shopping online rather than going out in the stores because, of course, it's crowded. But then I see a lot of times the women put their purses in the shopping cart and they walk away from it,
That's bad.
and then they leave sometimes the purse is open, or just having
Those
you
are
know.
crimes of opportunity, right?
It's just it's right there because once they snatch and grab and gone, it only takes a few seconds and they're gone, and then what? You know, or you walking around with several bags in your hand and your children and you're on the
Yeah,
phone.
there's only so much you can manage, right?
You become the target,
Right.
that the suspect is looking, they're lurking, and they're trying to find the opportunity. It's called the element of surprise, and that's why I do the element of surprise. I got a surprise for you.
What is a surprise? Oh, the surprise is.
Got my
What's a
piece.
surprise, Chief? What's a
You got
surprise?
your
I have a couple of surprises. I try to make sure that.
John's like, tell me. You see, he changed his voice.
What kind of surprise we need?
He like brain, he like brain. They stabbed me with that pistol one time.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
He's a
that's my business, and I love what I do, and I take pride in what I do, and I take pride in the uniform that I wear every day.
Absolutely, and that's your thing, right? I mean, you know, you're a woman that walks in dignity, so excellence, accountability, respect, that's ear. We're
It's called
in
my
an
ear.
ear mark.
That's right.
See what I did there?
That's what it is. That's my acronym. That's my ear, and that's what I teach my team that as long as we walk in excellence, accountability, and respect, everything else will fall in place. And you can't have one without the other. You have to have respect in order to hold someone accountable and have excellence. You can't have excellence and not be respectful and hold it. So one works with the other.
Right, it's like the circle with the arrows that kind of go, right, yeah.
So, and that's what I do, and that's what we do at the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office, and that's why I love what
What you do.
I'm
You love it, so, we don't have to guess, right?
I'm gonna constantly say that.
Now,
I don't think that I could have chosen a better career for me.
Right.
In law enforcement.
Now, how many, is it, I always use the term cop, because I'm at elementary,
It's
but
community oriented policing,
is that what cop stands for?
The constable of police or community oriented police, it depends on where you are.
You learn something new every day. That's why you gotta keep your eyes open and read, and always be vigilant. I have no idea.
That's what it's all about.
Most people don't though, right? I'm not in the minority here.
You have to be vigilant. You have to be vigilant and be aware of your surroundings, going in and out of your house, getting in your car, getting out of your car with your children, not having your children to walk behind you, but in front of you, not having, your children to walk on the traffic side, on the other side.
Right.
And it's kind of
And
like.
guys should do that too, by the way, since you're
Yes,
courting.
Yes.
Yeah, she's giving you everything you need to make sure you're doing for them. Are you? Because as you get closer, she gets further, so I'm trying to.
That's not what we talking about.
I'm kidding, she hasn't moved, clearly, because now y'all are butted up against each other. Gosh. So how many, officers serve under you?
I have 800, in all, just officers as well as civilian, I have over 856 employees up under me at the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office. Yes.
Talk about boss.
Yes, I'm the second in command up under DeKalb County Sheriff Jeffrey Mann.
I gotta have a meeting with you.
Uh-oh, DC trying to move in on your territory.
No, I wanna sell some lottery tickets.
You know I have to sign off on that if it's in DeKalb County too, and
Oh,
if
for
you sell lottery tickets in DeKalb County,
Oh, for
the
real?
sheriff has to sign off.
We ain't got
You
no-
see how when she gets business, she goes,
She goes straight up.
you know I have to, she'll smile one, and, I'm sorry, that's just one, French.
I gotta get your card.
Just get those cards, man.
But, you have almost 1,000 employees
And counting.
in your purview, and counting.
We have a field division, administrative, courts, what else? So it's a
Everything.
lot.
You are running stuff, you literally, so you're the the COO maybe, right, of a business.
Yes.
Because I actually went on the website, I looked at, you guys actually have org charts.
We have, yes.
Right, that
We have-
show.
we have no-
And
yes.
but when you think about law enforcement, you don't think about it as a business, much like nonprofits, right? We talk a lot to nonprofits who don't see themselves as business. This is a business, right? And so it makes sense that you've been so successful at it or significant because you run it like a business, right? From top to bottom, and you are clearly at the top. Speaking of the top, friends, we got, not you, DC, you're not at the top. You're at the top of Jumbo Airlines. I'm sorry, we were talking about Jumbo Airlines in the break, guys. I had to pull that, it was hilarious. And apparently there is no real Jumbo Airlines. There is a Jumbo Airlines?
Yeah.
All right, I can tell you what, I don't know what that is or not, but I can tell you what there is. There are great people supporting the According to Michelle movement. We're going to hear about them right now, guys. Stay with us on MixXX106radio.com. We're going to come back in just a few minutes and wrap this thing up. All right, this is going to be a very short break, and we're going to come back. Take it to you, talk about your comedy show, your socials, whatever you got coming, whatever you come to you, doing the same thing, and then we're going to wrap it up, all right? Oh my goodness, you are so good.
You was so good. But yeah, I gotta have your contact shit. She did. Gotta have my contact.
Who, Melanie? She don't want you to have her personal information. Just give her the office number. Trust me when I tell you.
I said I wasn't gonna play this song because you got all this cussing.
There's cussing in every word. It's internet radio. We can do whatever we want. Nobody can tell us what to do.
Okay.
That's why you're here, right? You want to be told what to do? Don't you want some independence in your life? Freedom, liberty? Yes, you do. Right? You want that, right? Where is it? She said she was...
Charles Manson.
Is that Charles? Tell Charles. Hey, Chief. That's not Chief.
He said, hey, he said he just left Savannah.
Oh yeah, they had the Georgia Association of Chief Police Conference in Savannah.
He said he pulled over to watch you and Michelle T. Willis. No, he said they got pulled over? No, he said he pulled over.
Oh, he pulled over. Oh,
They got pulled over
that's
watching.
my buddy. That's my buddy with Chief.
He said he pulled over to watch you and Michelle T. Willis.
Oh,
That's awesome.
thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
My Chief.
Hey, from Atlanta Tech. Hey, we had Dr. Seals on the show last week. Remember we had Dr. Seals on from Atlanta Tech last week? Hey, Eminem. Aww.
Okay, now
Who
who's
said
that?
that?
Whole name. Is that Charles? He said my triple M.
Yep. He said M and M.
Yeah, Eminem. That's me.
Hey, Melody. Oh, Frida. Frida Cheney says hey.
Oh, let me tell you, that's my girlfriend. We lost contact. Hey, Frida, that's my girl. And after 30 years, we reconnected.
Oh, really?
Yes, we reconnected. And we were like crybabies when we met. Yes.
They're the golden blind friend.
Actually, yeah.
What'd you say, like what?
Gresham House.
Right.
And Gresham House is off Gresham Road.
Oh, really?
All right.
Yeah.
Kiss and tell, yeah. Word to my mama, I'm out of my llama bean. Don't wanna see what that drama mean. Get some drama
So
mean.
Chief's fan, don't get pulled over.
We started trouble. All right, guys. When we come back, we're on like 12 minutes when we done.
That's not good.
All right. Oh, now you got. Didn't I say write it on the card?
If it's on there, but all that goes in, it's just more.
Lucky for you, I'm good on what I do.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. Yes, thank you.
Clue this in, friends. Morris Brown. Big shout out to Morris Brown.
College, yes.
Dr. James, are you watching? You see, you got somebody, she is bumping for you hard.
Right. Wolverine, Bubbling Brown.
Okay, let's see that Bubbling Brown dance. Just do it while you're sitting in the chair.
Oh no.
That's not it. That's not it. Just do it from top up. Just go ahead. Come on, you remember. Just do it.
That is it. That's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You had to smile.
Smile. Get your
And I
name
had
in.
braces. I had braces. And I smiled.
Okay, let me see the shoulder movement. There she is. Look, you getting this?
Sorry guys, you're silly. I love laughter. Thank God he's here. I love laughter.
Oh my God.
Watching nothing but comedy. I don't watch watch anything.
It's so stupid.
That's why if you start talking about movies, I won't. You can't. I don't know anything about movies. I won't watch anything.
Not even comedy movies?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be comedy. I'll watch anything but comedy. If it's not comedy, I won't watch it.
I don't think about making a movie yesterday.
Yeah, we don't. This is not that kind of show,
She
friends.
said a comedy movie. What's wrong with you? Who said that?
I do.
What's wrong with you?
I said. Now what?
Not that kind of movie.
He said, what's wrong with you? You know what's wrong with me? I care too much.
So what's really wrong with you?
Well, here goes nothing.
Sometimes it's dead the wall. Calm my down.
Yeah, there it is, shit.
Yep. Need
That
that.
sunburn lip. You've been working hard.
Need
You've
that.
been really working hard.
You shut up. I turned around for a reason.
You trying to get a good Christmas president. Outside.
Hey, drop it. You can't drop it, man. Don't smell it. You don't need smoke. Not an hour.
It's according to Michelle D.
I'm just talking. This is between the breaks, me and Chief and them over here having a conversation. That's what we do.
I'm not gonna put you guys onto that.
We got to get Chief on me on this Clayton County side doing that defense.
Clayton County
Yeah, we
and
got
Fulton
and
County.
Soul Food. Yeah, we got to get you over there, Chief.
But she's only gonna do one class a month. I gotta take in the cat.
Yeah.
The cat county ain't
Famous
My
right.
now.
cab family won't have it.
Hey, man.
The cat
She
county
famous now, though. She
Cab folks
famous.
won't have it.
Hey, she famous now. She got it.
In DeKalb, she's
She gotta spread it
insta
around.
famous. In Soul Food, she's real famous.
My mentor on that Judge Penny.
Sure,
Judge Penny is
I
just
wasn't
saying.
a Judge Penny.
Judge
I
Penny,
didn't see
are you on here?
Did you tell her you were coming on?
Yeah, I did. She said she was gonna look it up. I
I
hope she's
know. She might be on the internet though. She can't get on.
Okay, she can't.
You gotta put on the speaker so.
She speaks already. She speaks at. He said you gotta put her on the speaker server. When she speaks already. Clearly you didn't get her.
I'm just saying, she got the hook up on the good paying gigs, you know what I'm saying? They paying up, $7,000-8,000 to go talk. They won't give me a damn thing.
Well,
I'm in the same boat.
They tell me we'll get you a room in a buffet car. I said, look, man, I'm tired of y'all. Y'all gonna give me some money. Tired of y'all.
Nice room, you get a room.
I mean, hey, let's gotta start somewhere.
Are you going to Hampton this weekend?
No, tomorrow, right?
Friday, Friday. White List? No, we can't remember.
I thought it started there.
Oh, hey, store, yeah, it's
Well,
Friday.
they may, I think, no, it's
Third,
not Friday.
it's
They're doing
tomorrow?
golf. They're doing, I think
Top
they're
golf
doing
tomorrow.
I think they're doing, yeah, I think they're doing.
Yeah, I missed it last year.
I went last week.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
They doing it in Peachtree City again?
It's always a Michigan City event. Yeah, I need to. There's just so much.
It's nice too.
Yeah, it is. Dang, we literally are not having a lot of time. It's gonna be quick.
Yeah.
We're wrapping this up.
Yep.
Try not to talk too much.
What now?
Yeah. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. You're gonna have a solid, not a solid, you're gonna have 10 and a half minutes. You're gonna have 9 and a half minutes.
Yeah, no, because it's 3:49 right now.
Yeah.
You running a commercial? Or you going straight back
I'm
in?
running one people's champs and then we come back.
In Hershey car rack or truck rack at no fault of your own, you need the People's Champ.
30 seconds.
Your creditors won't stop harassing you. You need the People's Champ. Been getting the runaround from the insurance
So what time
company
you coming
after an
tomorrow?
accident. You need the People's
When I get
Champ.
off, I got one at 8 o'clock
Your injury attorney will work hard to get Jeff
I know, I was trying to make sure.
someone else's negligence. When you get injured in a car wreck, you need the People's Champ.
Get away from you. She's like, ooh, good gracious. I'm not. She's gonna have to use her. Like, you need to use some of your preventative measure.
When you can help and you
Go
need
shell
an
two.
attorney, you need the People's Champ.
All right, guys. Listen, you're listening to According to Michelle on MixLX106Radio.com. I hope you have been following me on Instagram or Facebook, Michelle Taylor Willis. We've had so much fun in here today. Melody, a.k.a. Chief, a.k.a. I mean, I see what I did there? See that? See that?
That's nice. That's sweet.
See how, it's just the little things. It was absolutely intentional. All right? Strategy is everything for us, right? You gotta think, it's always chess. It's never checkers. Remember that. You're welcome.
But in chess, the queen is always the power.
He is good.
He said, ain't God good. Ain't God good all the time. He's good all the time, friend.
I'm playing cheap chess.
Look, I'm playing. Let's see. Oh, guys, we got to do the chair check. Let's see how close the chair is.
Let's
Cheer
play
on me.
chess with the chief.
Ding, 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 ding,
Where we at,
ding,
Michelle?
ding, ding. Oh, no. The chairs are farther apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That ain't good.
either she moved or you moved. I'm guessing it was her. I'm guessing it was her.
You know what?
She's butted up against this thing like peanut butter on jelly, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, she's gone. She's like, no thanks. We're good.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
It's all
Listen,
good.
I'm kidding. John, it's been awesome having you in. It really has. So tell us, where can we listen to you? Or not listen to you. I guess they'll be listening to me. I mean, unless you're like on a podcast or something.
I
You know
don't.
that. No, but you tell us more about this gospel comedy tour you're doing, and when does that kick off, and then where can we find you locally?
So I've been doing gospel comedy too. I've got my next show Labor Day weekend. Actually, it's my first time being booked for 4 shows in one weekend by myself.
What?
Yeah.
This one I need to clap. Oh! There you go. See, I gotta bring my family in to make sure I'm taken care of.
I'll be at an event center in East Point, Michigan, right outside Detroit. I'll be there all weekend for that.
That's
But
awesome.
locally,
Good stuff.
locally here in Atlanta, I do Mic'd Up Mondays, which is a variety show. I host open mic right here at Harold's Chicken Ice Bar on Old National Highway. And every Wednesday night, I do Wind Down Wednesdays at the Green Light Lounge, which is connected to Uptown Comedy Corner. I'm doing the same thing, hosting variety shows there every Wednesday. So every Monday I'm at Harold's, every Wednesday I'm at Uptown.
Now, is that into perpetuity, or is that just for the end of the year, or what?
We'll see. We'll see. I try to get those in the beginning of the week so I can use the end of my weeks to do more travel.
Right. Which you are doing more of.
Yeah.
That means people think you're halfway funny.
Halfway. I'm
Just a
almost
little.
there.
You're so close.
Yeah.
Like on the funny meter.
Right.
And look, your comedy's going better than
They might.
your efforts at locking down the
That's fine.
chief deputy.
As long as I win at something, I'm good.
That's all right. Yeah, it's the little things, right? It's the little things.
It's a little thing.
So what are your socials? Where can people find you?
Comedian John Mason everywhere. So I'm
Okay.
I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, blackpeoplemeet.com, black Christian Bengals.
Oh gosh, all right.
Meetthechief.com.
That is amazing.
I'm on all of that.
She said, I know like hell.
You guys, oh my goodness, I wish y'all could have seen the face she just gave me. She's like, help me.
Yeah.
It's time for my defensive plan. You get it out of control.
He is getting out of control.
Be sure to follow us on Precious Hospice on all social medias too.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
PreciousHospice.com is our website.
Yeah.
We're at Precious Hospice on Facebook as well as Instagram.
so if, real quick on that, if somebody is in need, right, or if they've got to make a decision now the doctor has said you need end of life care,
Absolutely.
what would somebody do? Does the
See,
doctor have to refer?
The doctor does have to refer,
Okay.
have to make the referral. However, I suggest people, if you ever think that you're even close, or you know someone who may be close or may be in need, I try to take that stress off of you. So just pick up the phone, dial 470-878-5051, and we will be glad to assist you in the care of whatever it is you need.
Awesome. Well, congrats on that. Congrats on the success you had in the business. Congrats on your comedy. I mean, you already are kind of famous, kind of like you're kind of funny.
Right.
But when you blow up, don't forget about the little people here.
Yeah, the little people that
that
say
you
you are
come back.
almost funny.
Yeah, the little people that, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's just dramatic.
Yeah,
effect. I think you're hilarious,
Yeah.
personally. I think we should tour together. Like,
Right, we
do a
should.
little something, something.
We should.
All right, enough for you. Now, back to the real. Chief, thank you so much for coming on. I love that. I mean, love what you're doing. Everything, right? From the cops and robbers kind of thing to I'm gonna just play that one out until we get to the end here. So just bear with me.
Okay. All right.
No, seriously, what you're doing on the law enforcement side of things and all the success you had. You just got an award, a Law and Justice Award.
Yes.
Last weekend, we showed your pictures on Instagram and Facebook. They're beautiful. You speak, people can always find you, motivating and talking about all the things that we should be talking about that we're not, right?
Right.
And leading the charge for so much, for women specifically, right?
Absolutely.
But thank you for all you're doing. Any last words you want to get? Anything about the shopping carts? One more time for the ladies to make sure.
Just make sure that you don't leave your purses in the shopping cart.
You know, I saw somebody like buckle theirs in one time. They put it in and they buckled it in like with the child safety belt. Does that work? Because I started doing that. I felt like that was effective. They can't get it. If you wind it through.
That's too much. Just why would you do that? And another thing.
Because it's heavy.
Take all those charge cards out of your purse as well.
Oh.
Carry what you're going to use for that particular time.
Thank you.
Don't carry all that in your wallet or your purse, men too.
I got robbed one time. That man came and found me. He said, "Man, this card don't work. None of these cards work. This cash don't work."
But I want to thank you. I thank you for the work that you do as well in the community. Thank you for allowing me to be on the show. And I just want to give a mad shout out also to the sheriff of DeKalb County, Sheriff Jeffrey Mann, for allowing me to be in this position, because this is an appointed position.
Right.
And this man sought me out and brought me in. And although I ran for sheriff in 2014, we were not running against each other. We were running for the same position. We had the same thought process in mind that we wanted to do for DeKalb County Sheriff. And I appreciate that wholeheartedly. And no, I am not running for DeKalb County Sheriff.
Golly, she must have saw my lips start. My lips were like,
no, I'm not running for DeKalb County Sheriff. However, my desire is to become the next DeKalb County Sheriff after Jeffrey Mann retires. And of course, I will be the first female and the first African American female county sheriff.
Boom, boom. She said it, and it's whatever. Guys, whatever you speak it, and if you said it, it's going to happen, because that's how your life has been. Everything that you've wanted to do, everything you've desired to do has happened. It's come to fruition. And guys, on that, we're going to close. We talked about success. We talked about significant. We talked about passion. And you know, this is something that I am passionate about, right? You live your passion. I believe in making money off of my passion, and God gave it to me for you know. So, I mean, I'm different with you just a little bit on that now.
Shut you down, didn't you? That all quiet on you?
But guys, your purpose is where it is, and your passion, if you can find that and know what God gave you and find a way to monetize it, you'll never work a day in your life. You always make money. You'll always have enough of what you need. And your mind is so powerful. Your mind is so powerful. If you tell yourself what you want to do, your body will follow suit. The flesh is the second strongest muscle in the body. Your mind is the first one and your flesh is the second one. Whatever you tell your mind to do, your body will do. Start talking to yourself. Tell yourself who you are before you ever got there. Tell yourself what you want to be before you ever achieve it. If you take that God-given purpose, that passion, that talent, you apply a little bit of execution, I promise the world will be your oyster. You've been listening to Michelle Taylor Willis, the queen of soul food, on According to Michelle on MixedX106Radio.com. Guys, we'll see you next week, Wednesday, finally tonight at East Point. I'll be hanging out with Goody Ma. But for right now, we are out.
Yo.
Thank you.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody's hands go up.
Everybody's hands are up in here, and they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Talika, get your hands up. The great show, guys.
She's cold.
Didn't I tell you to put the thing up? I didn't put it on. Guys, we had a great show.
Right.
Thank you so much for tuning in. This was awesome. I appreciate your support. See us next Wednesday, finally tonight at East Point. Get yourself a free silk shirt. Come see Goody Mom. I can't wait. I memorized all their lyrics. I'm going to be right up on stage with them. Doing like this. Terrence, bring our shirt. We're going to call him. Guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you. Count me in. All right, we got to take some pictures. I think I should have done that. All I do is win. Guys, thank you so much for checking in. Denise, Charles, Phil, Allison, and everybody else. I can't go through all the names. Thank you so much for supporting us. We'll see you next week.